must be sated.
He was a hero of Noxus, resurrected to continue his path of carnage for the Empire in a new age. But one mad genius made a discovery. That death wasn't such a big deal for Sion, and players could use that to their advantage.
He potentially is the biggest pest in League of Legends because all he does is go for your goddamn towers and your objectives.
Are they removing that? It's bad for the game.
6% less damage to structures. We all know what this is about. Goodbye.
But if you ask anybody on any server, nobody likes playing with that freak, which kind of explains why EUS is the way it is.
So Riot tried to kill Sion for good, to put the juggernaut back in chains. But Sion will always rise again.
They may be looking for a kill onto Boss, but he's just going to get pinned in place. Matty, you've bitten off more than you can chew. He's so low. The flash comes out. There's the Arcane Barrage. Boss survives. Can he get the footwork in? Yes, he can. Boss is unkillable.
I killed you once. I'll kill you again.
Before we get into the video, I'd like to thank our sponsor, Omen, who are our portal to possibility for sending us to amazing esports events all over the world. We'll be right there at the center of all the action, sharing the best esports has to offer with all of you. Unleash your ultimate gaming potential with the Omen Max 16 laptop. Crafted for powerful performance, the Omen Max 16 is equipped with up to an Intel Core Ultra 9 processor, offering gamers desktop-level performance anywhere, encased in a light, portable body they can take on the go. Then there's also a groundbreaking new self-cleaning fan technology called Fan Cleaner. Powered by Intel, this built-in feature periodically reverses the fan's direction to prevent dust buildup for absolutely peak reliable performance. And for the first time ever, Omen gives players the ability to manually overclock their laptop CPU and GPU for max performance, up to 250 watts total processing power without having to go into the BIOS. Thanks again to Omen for helping players navigate through any gaming obstacle to reach new levels with the Omen Max 16, now available at omen.com. And now, let's get back to our story.
Sion hails from Noxus, specifically a much earlier time.
Noxus is where the strong gather. It seeks the fearless and defiant, calling them here to answer one simple question. Are you strong enough?
In life, Sion was the Hand of Noxus, a brutal general leading the Empire's conquests abroad.
Against gods, I'll butcher them all.
It's unclear exactly what Sion is. He was likely part of some non-human group noted for their proud warrior culture. His deeds, though, aren't in question. Sion's biography records that his ultimate battle saw him kill Demacia's king Jarvan I with his bare hands, even as life drained from his own body.
Alone. Pierced by a dozen swords and a score of crossbow bolts, he finally reached Jarvan. The fight was brutal, and it was the Demacian who delivered the killing blow. Sion dropped his axe and, with a final burst of strength, tore the king's crown from his head with one hand, clamping the other around his throat. Jarvan's guards stabbed Sion again and again, but his grip did not loosen. Only when the enemy king was slain did Sion allow death to claim him.
Sion's ruthless efficiency made him a powerful force for Noxus, and in death his loyalty was rewarded. But Sion's duty did not end in death. His biography tells us that his body was exhumed and brought back to life 50 years later to serve a different Noxus, one trying to hold on to the gains from previous eras. The blood magic used to return Sion to life made him even more brutal and relentless than before. He was uncontrollable and indiscriminate on the battlefield. But after a time, the same man who had ordered Sion reanimated gave the command to lock him back inside his his tomb, where he had no choice but to wait for his next opportunity for slaughter. Sion killed hundreds, but was eventually forced into the tomb. Years later, Swain gave Sion another look at daylight and at the fragile creatures that walked in it. And so the general who gave his life for Noxus continues to fight for it even in death, though it is bloodlust, not loyalty, that now drives him.
I must be sated.
Sion's story is of a man that gave everything for his country, but even that wasn't enough for Noxus. Now, historic, real-world cultures did truly fear that the dead could return to life, albeit in some twisted and limited way. In some cases, proper burial or specific funerary rites are said to be preventative measures to stop reanimation, and these nightmares have continued to haunt humans for our entire history.
And dig this, there was a prophecy just before his head died. His last words were, "Death is but a door, time is but a window, I'll be back."
For example, in March 2024, excavation for a German infrastructure project in Saxony-Anhalt's Oppen region uncovered a Bronze Age burial site that the press eagerly described as a zombie grave.
Excavations were going on for an underground power line, and they came across this grave, and it's a grave of a middle-aged man between 40 and 60 years of age, and there was a very, very large stone placed over his legs in the burial, interpreted as stopping him from getting out of the grave. I think that's the best way of putting it.
This is a fear that humans have held for a long time, and through champions like Sion continue to experience. In League of Legends, his abilities mirror his past skills as a warrior, but also his undead fortitude. But like Sion himself, they're from an earlier time. That's because Sion was one of the first 6 champions designed for League of Legends, although that old version of Sion is long gone, removed after a full relaunch in October 2014. And one aspect of the rework is pretty unique. His passive, Glory in Death, revives Sion, allowing him to continue fighting so long as his health, which ticks down steadily, will allow. It makes thematic sense, since Sion was nearly unstoppable in life and was truly so after his dark resurrection. And frankly, it seems like the kind of passive that could be thrown onto a champion like this with little worry about what might result. After all, what's a few extra seconds of indiscriminate violence, right? As it turns out, sometimes those brief extra moments of life after death were all Sion needed to make a difference, and that's part of what led people to really start to hate the champion. But at first, Sion wasn't really hated by anyone. Most of Sion's kit was designed to enable a playstyle as tank or bruiser, and his 2014 rework was received well by the player base. For the next few years, he was fittingly played predominantly as a top lane tank, although he saw limited competitive play in mid and made rare appearances as a support too. His popularity peaked in seasons 7, 8 and 9, boasting a good solo queue win rate and breaking into pro play in a massive way.
Decimating smash, massive knockoff! Max has possibly started a good fight here for MVP double kill! Make that a triple! Is that the quadra kill for Max? The Sion's going off!
Much of the challenge of playing Sion revolved around using his abilities creatively and, of course, the all-important top lane matchup. His Q, Decimating Smash, was slow, but could surprise anyone if used from within the fog of war, or if a player's predictive abilities were on point.
G2, now can they get out of this one is the question. Oh, just dives into the knockup. The setup was just beautiful from Broken Blade as Faker goes down. Now T1 desperately trying to get out. Good flash from Carrier, but Owner's not going to be so lucky. Charming is Caps as he puts him back towards his outer turret there in the mid lane.
His W, Soul Furnace, gave him insane health scaling potential, and the damage could surprise enemies. And while his E, Roar of the Slayer, was often less flashy than his other abilities, it let him run down opponents mercilessly. Later synergies with other champions would give it increased opportunity to shine as well. And his ultimate, Unstoppable Onslaught, gave him a way to enter the fray quickly, with players quickly learning to drift Sion's battering ram-like body to show off the champion's true potential.
You have to think the execution is in favor. That's a flash forward. Betsy has found Kickers. There's no smite. There's a chance he's not. He gets it unstoppable. Roar of the Slayer slows Betsy down, and Power of Evil is spitting artillery shots.
But his passive, in combination with the behind-the-scenes mechanics about gold, remained the most unique thing about Sion. He was defined by his ability to return after death, and soon, League would be defined by it too. In 2022, League of Legends streamer Simon the Baus FFS Hofverber discovered a way to play Sion that Riot had never anticipated.
Champion played Sion. Final score 9 and 16. I got banned for 9 and 16. That's a normal day for me.
The Baus became known for a lot of things.
This guy's hinting. Solo bolo. No, there's rules, of course, to solo bolo. First of all, no ally assistance. It's you and you alone. Second of all, if you're a Riven, you're a Camille, and you kill a Yuumi, that's just a kill, you know. Yes. Oh, hi guys. Whatever, got the dragon, huge.
But at the core of his playstyle was a simple question. What if the damage Sion could do during his passive was usually worth the cost of admission? Death.
Wait, do you want a game with 0-9? Question mark? It's kind of what I do. I int my ass off and then I still win. I get to choose how the wave state is gonna be. Me dying makes me get the choice. Always die, guys.
Lots of people didn't like that the answer seemed to be yes. It was worth it to die on purpose again and again.
Usually what he does is he tries to become the biggest pest in the game. He potentially is the biggest pest in League of Legends because all he does is go for your goddamn towers and your objectives. His damage to structures is unmatched, and it's so annoying when he has 20 deaths and he's just obliterating your Nexus.
Boom! I lived out! 0-12! Always go for bounce only! We're gonna get him banned!
Oh my god, Budius got banned, did you see? I don't know who that is. I think you're talking about the Sion guy maybe, but I don't really know who he is. He got banned? Good, hope it's permanent.
But whether or not Baus's strategy truly represented inting, it made him a magnet for bans, given that his stat lines often looked like he was trying to lose on purpose.
Yeah, I got banned. Why? I didn't get an email about it. I think because I feed.
It quickly became obvious that it wasn't some goofy, off-meta, easy-to-counter strategy, because on top of being effective in-game, it was consistently effective enough to get Baus all the way to Challenger. That meant that pro players in every region eventually became aware of it, and it inspired imitators.
He's doing the fucking strat, Jesus Christ.
Wait, why is it perma refreshing?
What do you mean? He gets lifesteal when he hits things.
Oh my fucking god.
He's gonna be doing that all game, by the way, just so you know.
Is so, do we stop it?
We just kinda it is honestly kind of tough.
Because he ruins the game. Everybody his dipshit fanboys like, I'm gonna sit in side lane, I don't know macro. Nobody learns macro on the server. Nobody has any game knowledge because that reject. That's literally what it is. And of course, nobody gets punished for intentionally feeding because he can play his disgusting fucking champions and run it down and not get banned.
Basically, in high elo, there are a lot of people that are not very liked. You know, I think I'm one of them. Like there are many people that dislike me straight up. It's because of my playstyle. I wouldn't be surprised if there are people that report me every single game, even if I play well. Yes, because they dislike me.
Just like Sion himself, the playstyle wouldn't die. And given that it revolved around throwing away your life for a potential gain, well, Riot truly had no choice but to act. So how exactly did Baus's playstyle work? And how did Sion and Riot's attempts to fix him change League of Legends forever? Well, let's focus on Glory in Death, his passive. After some initial post-relaunch tweaks to the health decay part of the ability, it went mostly untouched for years, while basically all of his other abilities received multiple balance passes. In Season 9, a change accidentally uncapped his damage to minions and turrets while in zombie mode, but it was fixed almost immediately. Barring extremely minor bug fixes, Sion's passive wasn't nerfed until Season 12, after the BAUS had successfully taught everyone that dying on Sion wasn't so bad actually. But League of Legends is played by millions of people worldwide, so how did this Sion strat reach so many people and change the game? Part of it is a very simple idea. You learn early that dying in League of Legends is really bad. Reversing that mindset is not easy, and it's almost never desirable. But Sion changes that. At first, Sion's passive really does seem like something thrown in to build on the whole Revenant fantasy. In edge cases, maybe it could have an impact, but a significant portion of the time, you just won't be well positioned to make much glory in death. But there are ways to guarantee that you'll be in the right spot to make a play. They just don't seem appealing on paper.
Or like I rotate in a way that the enemy team needs to go and kill me. They have to go and kill me, otherwise they will lose the game. If they don't kill me, they will lose the game. That's kind of how my strategy works.
If you die somewhere where your opponents are essentially forced to fight you, then that's a good start. And one kind of place that qualifies are structures, since you have to knock down towers before the Nexus becomes vulnerable. So proxying waves of minions between towers suddenly becomes not only possible, but maybe even desirable.
I'm gonna take this wave, I'm gonna take next wave, and then I'm gonna execute on the wave after.
A key part of the strategy in 2022 was the item Hullbreaker, which made Sion pushing a side lane impossible to ignore. The item was eventually overhauled, but before that, Sion was nerfed too.
Sion, definitely a frustration point for a lot of people in a lot of places. Sion does 60% less damage to structures in his passive. Yep. We all know what this is about. Goodbye.
Sion passive does 50% reduce to towers. Wait, why are they nerfing Bowsy? The only person in the world that this nerfs is Baus. No.
However, the Season 12 nerf did not destroy the playstyle. Like the mythical remnants of our own world, Baus's version of Sion simply refused to die. Sion's nerf did mean that Baus spent more time on other champions in top lane, including Gragas and Quinn. But Baus's Sion would not remain shackled by the meta. Even after the nerf to his passive, and even after Hullbreaker was completely reworked in Season 14, it was still possible to turn his kit into a winning strategy. If you flee from Baus's Sion, he will shove in your side lane and force a response. If you stand and fight, his corpse will pummel you or your objective into the ground even if you kill him. He isn't afraid to die if it gets him what he wants. Even with him proving that it could work, at least for him, in solo queue, detractors argued that his strategy wouldn't work against an organized team in competitive play. But after joining Los Ratones, who compete in Northern Europe's NLC, Baus proved that it wasn't just viable in pro play, it was effective.
Sion extraordinaire, the king of proxying, Messi of League, give it up to Bowsy! Oh, look at the moves!
Los Ratones even picked Sion for Baus in Game 2 of the NLC Winter Finals.
That's it. Baus is getting his Sion. It's happening. Would it be that AD Sion? Probably, considering it's Baus.
And they won the whole thing in a sweep while setting viewership records for the league.
And the trophy will be lifted. I need that noise as Los Ratones are going to raise this one. At the count of 3, your NLC Winter Split, Los Ratones!
Baus may not be fully defined by this champion, obviously. He didn't get to play him every game. But Sion, for the moment, continues to be defined by the Baus. And in turn, the strategy has changed the way we think about League, for better and worse.
Are they removing that shit? That shit's bad for the game. That shit's bad for the... I like watching the Valves do that shit on stream. That shit is bad for the game.
Riot laid the heavy stone of nerfs across Sion's legs to bury him, to keep him from coming back. But he won't stay down. Sion keeps reminding us that even in a game like League, where Riot has a specific vision of how the game should be played, there are surprises to be discovered. There are other ways of looking at the game that can only be found by experimenting. Using Sion's passive, the Baals showed us another way to play the champion. One where, like the former hand of Noxus, we could choose to die a good death.
Welcome to EU. Welcome to EU.
Thanks for watching. If you want more content like this, hit the sub button and ring the notification bell. For unique bite-sized videos you won't find anywhere else, hit us up on our X, Instagram, Facebook, and TikTok.